give you guys my advice on love, relationships, dating, all that jazz. Let's get into it. I'm an Aquarius who has just been obsessed with love ever since I was young. I mean, I feel like that's a typical thing a lot of girls are usually obsessed with, but I love talking about love. I love talking about relationships. I love learning about love, learning about relationships. I've read a ton of books. I've read a bunch of articles. I have an experience. I'm currently in a long-term relationship of 7 years, and it's been amazing, but I've also learned so much about myself and just everything like that. So this is gonna be Q&A style. So pretty much on my Instagram, every week I'm going to put up a post where you can send me any questions that you have that's dealing with dating, relationships, and love, and then I will answer it and give you guys my best honest advice that I can give through my experiences. And if I actually genuinely don't know how to answer it, or maybe haven't been through it, I'll probably give you my best answer, my best advice, or I may bring in somebody else who's been through something like that, and we'll see how this goes. But alright, so first off, my hair, I washed and deep conditioned it yesterday, so it's puffy looking because I didn't put anything on it after. I'll be putting a leave-in conditioner, a curl defining cream, and then a gel today. And also, look at me. I am a true natural curly hair person now. I went ahead and just bought it because I was like, you know what? I need it. These are anonymous, but the first question is advice on how to not be afraid of vulnerability. I'm someone who has had a hard time letting people in. Okay, so this is really good because I'm the same way, honestly. I'm not really good with being vulnerable. Honestly, it's very uncomfortable for me. I'm the type of person that I don't trust people easily at all. Like, I literally have the saying that I don't trust no one unless they give me a reason to trust them. So, and I've always been that way, I guess, to just protect myself from getting hurt, if I'm honest, which is normal. Like, all of us, we're afraid of getting hurt. And that's just worked out well for me because in my past, I haven't really gotten hurt that bad, because I don't give away my trust fast, and so therefore I have no expectations. If anything, I think in a way like, oh, they're probably gonna, I mean, I don't want to say they're probably going to hurt me anyways, but I don't give them expectations. So if I'm dating somebody and it doesn't go completely amazing, it's okay, because in my head I already thought, like, don't expect this person to be super, your love at first. It's just like, I don't know, I just don't put that many high expectations. So when I did get in my relationship though, my current relationship, my boyfriend is he's a Scorpio, if that means anything to anybody. So he's very loving, affectionate, vulnerable. That's just, I mean, I know some Scorpios can seem like secretive, but once we got close, he was very like open with me. So therefore, when he was open and he was very affectionate and loving, it made me feel like I was safe, like I could be vulnerable, even though it still felt weird for me. And honestly, it took maybe like years for me to feel super vulnerable. I've moved in with him this year, and I still struggle with being vulnerable about certain things because I'm also, I don't know, it's just like, it's not struggle with being vulnerable, but it's more so like, I don't know, I'm independent, so I'm used to dealing with certain stuff alone by myself in my head. Wait, let me look up what being vulnerable is so I'm answering this right. What is being vulnerable?
Exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally.
Wow.
Vulnerability, something many of us avoid due to fear of being judged, hurt, or failure. To be vulnerable means to put yourself out there and be open to possibilities and opportunities.
Yep, I definitely struggle with that one. Whenever I'm around anybody, I have to, like I said, they have to give. It has to be a give and take thing. I can't just be giving myself to someone and they're not giving the equal amount. So if they are sharing and being open with me and being affectionate and being just things that I don't have to tell them, then it makes me feel like, okay, I can trust this person. And then it takes time. Like for me, like I said, it took honestly years for me to, like, my vulnerability wall kind of like you know, went down a little bit at a time, a little bit here and there, little, until, you know, now it's probably right now at maybe, I don't know, 90%, because sometimes I'm just like, One day, recently, I had a talk with my boyfriend because I was feeling some type of way. I had, like, some feelings in my head about something, and I felt bad. That's about being vulnerable, but I was just like, I don't want to tell him, because what if he thinks this about me, or blah, blah. I mean, I know at this point he doesn't care. He accepts me for who I am. But it was my own, like, thoughts and stuff like that guarded me from doing it. But the number one thing is they have to show that they're being vulnerable. And if you see that person being vulnerable and being open, willingly you don't have to tell them, they're just, like, sharing things with you, opening up, communicating, being affectionate, then you reciprocate that. You shouldn't be giving more or saying more about yourself or doing more for that person, because then that's how you can get taken advantage of and hurt and stuff like that. So I say, yeah, just pick up on that, and then also know that it's gonna take time, and you don't have to completely be super vulnerable. You could just start off a little bit at a time. Oh no, I totally did not do this right. I was supposed to put this on first. Oh shoot, I'm gonna try to do it reverse and see if it works like that. Oh my gosh, this is what happens when you start talking. Alright, hope that helps. How do you not feed into the paranoia of someone not loving you? I have anxiety, by the way. Wow, that's a good question. You know, I feel like that's a lot of the things that a lot of girls go through. But I also just feel like you have to understand that that's just life, you know? Like, it's just life. You never know until you get into it. But you just have to understand that there is a possibility of someone that they don't love you as much as you love them, or, you know, you may be dating and fall in love with somebody and you may love them but they may not love you. And yes, that's super scary, but that's just life. And I just say the sooner you find out, the better, you know, because then it's like, once you find out that a person that you have feelings for don't have the same feelings for you in that moment, then you gotta go, because you already know what it is. And the main issue with a lot of, you know, girls, I feel like, is girls feeling like, oh, this guy doesn't want me right now, but if I do so and so, if I do this more, or if I'm more affectionate, or if I, you know, do things for him sexually, or if I buy him things, or if I dress like this, it's gonna change his mind. And that rarely happens. If it's like you get into a relationship or whatever, and somebody doesn't have the same feelings as you, and they express, and they are not telling you that it's gonna be like, it's gonna change anytime soon, then yeah, you just have to move on. So I know that's a scary thing, but it's just life. It's like asking, how do I not feed into the paranoia of not getting the job that I applied for? You just have to, I mean, what are you going to do? Just never apply for a job just because you're nervous that you're going to get rejected? It's just life. You just have to do it. You just have to go whatever you're asking it for. Just obviously not have the highest expectations. That's the thing. I feel like when we have high expectations, that's when we kind of get like hurt sometimes. But yeah. This is really interesting spray right here. Is it okay to be the one paying for the most things? I'm a type of person that does, like, I believe in 50-50 in a relationship. I do not believe that a man is supposed, I don't like the traditional way saying a man's supposed to do this and a woman's supposed to do this. No. Like, everybody's relationship is different, so if you believe in that and you want to stand by that in your relationship, cool. But for me personally, I'm like 50-50, fair is fair. So no, I don't think one person should be paying for everything, because then that sounds like someone is getting taken advantage of the other one, or some person, and they may be doing that on, not even on purpose. They may just be used to you paying and not telling them that they have to pay, pretty much, or, you know, or them not paying. So if that's the case and you have a problem with it, I would say speak up to the person and let them know that you notice that and you don't feel comfortable with that, or whatever, however you want to put it. And if they respect that and start paying, you know, helping out, then that's cool. But if they have a problem with it, then that is a problem. Ooh, this is a good question. How do you get over bad views you have on men because of your father or someone close, like a male relative that isn't a good man? Whew. This resonates with me very well because unfortunately I grew up in a family that, I won't say they were the worst men, but they were not the best representation of like what a good man is supposed to be, if that makes sense, without being like too rude about it. Yeah, I love my family, but yeah, you know, like some people are just like, okay, that's just not right. So I think being exposed, first of all, yeah, I think just being exposed to good examples of good men. So if you don't have anybody else in your family that's a good example of a good man, then maybe you can like watch videos on it or read books about it. Because I feel like that's what happened to me. I don't know, this is like personal, but when I moved out of my parents' house after high school, I moved in with my cousins because they lived closer to my college that I was going to. And they had a marriage, a long-term marriage. They've been together ever since they were like super young. My cousin's husband grew up in a family that was like just a good, nice, wholesome family. You know, like his father was a really amazing father, and you could tell it showed within him. So me living there and just seeing the way he interacted with the family and his wife and just even his work, just being a all-time good man, like husband goals and dad goals and stuff like that. I was able to get that experience and realize that, hey, like not all men are like, you know, maybe some of the men that I grew up in my family. So that exposure it helped me realize what I should tolerate in a man and what I may want in a man and how I may have want, you know, just certain things like that. So I feel like maybe somebody else in your family that you know of that's been in a long-term relationship, you can get advice from, or you can like watch videos, good men on YouTube or like read books about it, or you know, obviously therapy too could help if you're really, I don't know how severe it is for you, but so I think that really helps a lot. And then you also just have to understand that not all men are the same, and I can tell you that for sure. So I'm just telling you as a person that's been around a whole bunch of guys, I mean not like around like that, but I've experienced a whole bunch of different guys before, and yeah, all men are not the same. And I'm doing it again. I just totally forgot to put my leave-in conditioner in my hair. I hope this is turning out okay, because I'm like not even doing it in the right order. I think this side is done. Alright, I'm gonna go check on my focus, I'm over here. Alright, I'm gonna go check on my potatoes and I'll be right back. How do you know when someone really cares and not pretending? I think you just know by their actions. That's just it. I'm a firm believer of actions speak louder than words. So a guy can tell me, oh, this, that, and this, but again, I don't have trust issues, but I don't trust easily at all. So it's like you have to earn my trust. So again, I'm not gonna believe words, because guys could talk up a big show and a big talk, but then their actions do not match it, and that's fraud. And that's what leads to you being hurt and having your expectations crushed and stuff like that. Believe me, I didn't mention this, but I used to go to college with my cousin, another cousin. He used to go to Morehouse at HBCU. He would invite me over to his dorm a lot, very often. And also I would go to a lot of the parties. When I was in college, I did not really I wasn't that social. Like, I was social, but I was that type of person that I'm not gonna go and seek out a party by myself. That just never was my thing. I wasn't really a party person. But he was in college at the time too, and he wanted me to experience that side. And plus I went to art school, so there wasn't really that many parties now that I think about it. So I think that's mainly why I never went to parties. But yeah, at Morehouse, if you guys, anybody know, the parties were like crazy there. So he would always kind of, I say invite, but he kind of forced me to go to the parties because he was like, I need to get the experience. Mind you, he had 3 or 4 other roommates, and he will always be in this group of like guys. So I will always be there when they were trying to talk and get at girls, and I would see what they would do. And let me just tell you, guys are smart. And girls sometimes can be very oblivious. I think that experience made me realize how guys really are. I mean, you know, they were good guys, but they were just like college guys, or they just were in that moment where they were just trying to have fun and not settle down at that point. So, with that being said, I just think you need to pay attention to what that person is doing rather than saying. And if he's showing you that he truly cares, like he's texting you often first. Like when you don't have to ask. I've never had to really, in the beginning of my relationships, I never had to ask my boyfriend to do certain things, or I never felt like, oh, he's not texting me enough, or he's not doing this. Like he just did it. And he was honestly the one that was doing most of the texting first and reaching out first, because again, I'm more like hesitant. I'm not about to just like, I just protect myself in the beginning from getting hurt because I know how guys are. So I don't do a lot in the beginning. Again, they have to earn that. So if they're doing more of the calling me, texting me, planning dates and stuff like that, then eventually I'll start doing that. So if the guy's texting you first and calling you first, and you don't have to remind him to do certain things that he should do because he cares about you, then that's how you know. How do you know when it's real? Imagine the person that you are. Like, how do you act when you're alone? What do you do when you're alone? How are you when you're alone? How do you look when you're alone? How do you look when you first wake up in the morning? How do you look when you don't feel like your best? If you've shown that to your partner or whoever you're talking about, and they truly still accept you for who you are, that's how you know that they're the one. When you can literally be your absolute self, like face, hair, body, everything, personality, your weird quirkiness, you know, if you could be your absolute self and they love you for it, that's when they're the one. And it does take time. Obviously, everybody's different, and you can trust them, obviously, like they're your friend, pretty much. You can have fun with them, and you can just be yourself. I'm trying to hurry up and do this. It's probably the worst job I've done to my hair. Oh, that was way too much gel. Crap. I need to hurry up. I'm gonna have to eat some food soon. I am starving. Did you have any serious relationships before the current relationship you're in? I only had one serious relationship. I mean, it was in high school, so I don't know how serious you want to say that, but I was in a relationship with my previous boyfriend or my ex for 2 years. So I don't know, would you say that's serious? I think it was pretty serious. I mean, I knew his family. I mean, we were pretty serious. So other than that, not really. I had little boyfriends, maybe like one other boyfriend that I can remember, or 1 or 2. But this is definitely my longest relationship. What would you say is the most important components in a relationship? Obviously, the one that we hear the most is communication. I can't stress how important that is. Not just love relationships, but like relationships with your family, relationships with your friends. Being able to openly communicate your thoughts and your feelings without feeling like you're going to get judged is so important. And when I say communication, you being able to talk freely about how you feel, and that person to listen, really be able to listen to you, make you feel heard and make you feel understood by what you're saying. Other than that, I feel like friendship is very, I value friendship and relationship. I was friends with my boyfriend first. That's how all my relationships have been, let me tell you. And that's why I feel like I haven't really gotten hurt in the past relationships. Not to say that I've been in that many, but I feel like I'm very strategic when going into a relationship. So yeah, I may get a little hurt if it doesn't work out at the end, but I'm never like, I never felt like I gave too much for myself, or I felt like I was taken advantage of, because I don't allow myself for that to happen. So, when you're friends with the person, you really like them. Like my boyfriend, I could say he is my definitely my best friend because I really love, like, I love him intimately, you know. Like, you know, I'm in love with him, but I also love him, but I also like him most of the time when he's not getting on my nerves, you know. So I feel like we can talk about anything and everything, like anything, like women, like porn, like anything we can talk about, you know, insecurities or whatever the case may be. And I feel comfortable, or, you know, politics, everything, even if we don't agree on everything. So yeah, and then and then being friends, whenever you're with your friend, you guys have a good time, you're laughing, being kids, like keeping the kid and the fun alive in a relationship is very, very important as well. Going on dates, never just losing that spark. So I think just being kids, your true kid self, like having fun, like play fighting sometimes, you know, my boyfriend does. I mean, everybody's different. Whatever works for you, but I just think those two are, and obviously trust is very important as well, because, you know, I have to be able to trust a person. And I think having intimacy is really, really good too. Just knowing each other's love languages and following those. If you know each other's love language, then you're able to love each other the way that you both want to be loved. Okay, back. Hair's done. I'm gonna put this on, do my baby hairs. Okay. How did you know that you were in love with your boyfriend? Like I answered kind of similar to a previous question. I knew that I was in love with my boyfriend when he made me feel comfortable about being myself. It was like the fact that we were friends, so we could be ourselves in front of each other, but also we had that sexual, like attraction. He was very affectionate. He was pretty much everything that I wasn't, in a sense. And I felt like I wish I was better. I was never really the best at showing affection, just because it's like weird to me. I don't know if that's an Aquarius thing or whatever. But yeah, but he made me feel like, you know how that affection that you see in the movie, you know, just, I don't know. So the mixture of being friends but having this like sensual sexual attraction, if that makes sense. Friends and lovers, that combo made me realize that he was the one. And like I said, that I could be myself around him. And also, he was everything that I wasn't. So he was organized. I'm not organized. He's good with his finances. I'm not the best at my finances. He had the things that I wanted, and I had the things that he could have been better at. So it was just like great match, I think. And it's just nothing compares to being able to just be your true self around somebody. Like I could wake up in the morning just my hair looking crazy, not even have wrapped it, and my hair looking all like just crazy. And he would just tell me how beautiful I was and how he just loves me without makeup and how he loves my body, which as a child, that was my biggest insecurity, my body, you know, because I was very petite, my boobs because they weren't that big, and yeah, my nose. He literally loves all of my insecurities, which is really crazy to me, how that even works out. My teeth aren't the most perfect, but he loves my teeth. That was my fault because I haven't worn retainers, but he loves how big my teeth are. He loves my small petite boobs. He loves my shape. He loves my size. He was the one that influenced me to go natural with my hair. Like, he is literally the epitome of being with the person that allows you to be the best version of yourself. And young Jess was the Jess that made me feel like, wait, am I doing this right? Yeah, when I was young, I always felt like I had to be somebody for somebody, or had to dress up, or had to look like this to be attractive, or, you know, do the most all the time. And with him, I feel like I don't have to do nothing. Just thinking about it, I don't like to be all lovey-dovey because it makes me cringe a little bit. But yeah, as you could tell, that's how I knew that. And obviously that I could trust him and stuff. Very trustworthy. questions. There were a few more, but I will answer them in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of the Love and Hair Show. It was really fun answering questions and doing my hair, and yeah. So stay lovely. And good luck out there. And if you have any questions, if you want me to answer any questions that you have about love, DM me, message me on my Instagram, or leave me a DM on my Instagram, JessCreationss, and your question may be featured in the next Hair and Love show. See you guys really soon in the next one. Bye.